Aries Ascendant. Mars rules your first house and Mars rules your eighth house. And this Mars will be debilitated in the sign of Cancer in the fourth house. So, definitely, this is going to make you more involved and a sudden involvement in the matters related to home. Maybe the environment of home is unhealthy. There are some issues, and now you will have to address those issues whether you like it or not. And you will also feel that your energy is getting drained because of your involvement. But is it really bad? Not really. Because see, Mars will only reach its peak debilitation in Ashlesha Nakshatra. But initially, Mars will be either in Punarvasu or in Pushya Nakshatra. In both the cases, this is a very soft Mars. Yes, Mars doesn't fare well in the Cancer zodiac sign. What will a soldier do in a place of rest? But still, this is the time to rejuvenate. Every soldier, every warrior needs that recovery. So, if you feel that you have been fighting for a very long time, if you have an afflicted Mars in your chart, if you're in Mars Mahadasha, Mars Antardasha, then this is the time when you can undergo recovery. You will see that you will be in a much better situation. If your health is bad, you will see that you will get healers, doctors who will help you, but you will have to take care of your health. You should not put yourself at risk during this time. Buying a new property, dealing with real estate, renovation, reconstruction, all that should be done very cautiously and carefully. People involved in such business should also be careful during this time. You should not focus on quick gains. Rather, because the energy is low, you should just go business as usual. Starting anything new will be difficult because Mars is also the dispositor of Jupiter and Rahu, which are on your ascendant. So you must be careful during this time, not to put your hand onto something which you cannot fulfill. So don't commit without knowing your limitations, without knowing the boundaries, because you won't be able to cross that boundary. Mars seventh aspect on the 10th house will increase your aspiration towards your career, and the current position, the current salary, the current profit, the current income, the way you are working, maybe the partnership will make you uncomfortable and can give you sleepless nights if you overthink. So do not overthink during this time. As I said, this is the time for recovery. Recovery means you're not running after profits, you're running to stabilize things. So bring stability during this time. Investments that are made earlier can show positive results during this time. Not always negative. Debilitated Mars is negative. Sometimes a debilitated Mars can also bring in compassion, your ability for social work. Your heart will open, and someone has a big heart and they donate and they are compassionate about other beings and other people for the Mother Earth. That is how your mind will become. But the thing is, it totally depends upon your nature. It can complement your nature or it can go against it. Whatever be the case, try to remain humble as much as possible. For students and the elderly, this can be a time, this can be a troublesome time because you have to be at home and you will feel restless. So try to engage yourself in studies or any other activity. Do something that makes you happy, some recreational work, something that fulfills your passion and talent. Uh, a debilitated Mars should be seen as per Mars in your birth chart, because after all, Mars is what? Energy, right? So, energy is something that will lack during this time, or rather, I should say, the enthusiasm to act will lack, and you will be more complacent, you will be more laid back. For some time, it is okay, but for not for every task. So, you will have to prioritize your life in a way that while you are being relaxed and while you are you know not putting stress on yourself, you are fulfilling your duties and you are not lagging behind on that part, because duties and the responsibilities have to be fulfilled. Then Mars 8th aspect will fall on Saturn on the 11th house, which means due to the tensions at home, maybe due to the responsibilities at home, it will force you, at least it will motivate you to change the way you earn, maybe earn extra, and that might be a worry. Maybe the financial future worries you. My take here is that worry will not give you anything. Relax and things will be all right. Chanting Hanuman Chalisa and totally devoting your time to Bhagwan Hanuman is the best way to deal with this Mars transit. Taurus. Now, in case of Taurus, Mars transit will happen in your third house. This is the Mars that rules your 7th house and 12th house, and this Mars goes in the third house. So this will increase first your expenses. Your connection with your siblings, your cousins will be affected during this time. So don't do anything that can, create more problems or create or plant a seed which will turn out to be a problem. Check your behavior, check your attitude, check the way you take initiatives. Are you interfering in someone's life too much? Sometimes, a good intent is misunderstood. So be very careful. With Mars in the third house, this is going to bring in lethargy. This is going to bring in procrastination, overconfidence, over self-belief, or sometimes inferiority complex on the other side. If your moon is weak, it will bring inferiority complex. If your moon is strong, it might bring a sense of overachievement, over-empowerment. Both are bad. And therefore, you have to keep a filter, a self-check, so that you don't fall at the weak energies of Mars. This is also the time when you will have to be careful in your marriage, in your business contracts. Especially, this can make you go on a forced travel, maybe a leisure trip that you don't want to take. But it is better to enjoy your life rather than thinking on the negative side. Yes, you will have to plan your expenses because your 12th Lord is in the third house. But it also means that there will be movement in life. Movement that will, that will take the energy from you. So you will see that you are working hard. At the end of the day, you feel tired, but then there are responsibilities on you which you will have to fulfill. Now, if you are a Taurus ascendant, and if you already have a debilitated Mars or if you have a weak Mars in your chart, these effects will be more and more pronounced in your horoscope. And you will feel this energy more. But otherwise, for most of the people, this will be more like just another time. But yet they will often, on and off, they will feel this lack of energy, lack of motivation. You will also see that your communication will lack and you will prefer more silence during this time. Also, Mars in Cancer also means energy that is outbursting. You can say Mars in Cancer is like lava, a liquid earth which is very hot, which is moving but also destroying. So your communication can destroy people's, liking for you, people's affection towards you. You have to be very, very careful during this time, especially if you are into if you are a media celebrity, if you are into influence, if you're into influencer business, social media, you will have to be ultra careful during this time because you might just get hatred. Also, you will see that the partners, the people whom you rely, the people whom you trust may back out helping you. You may not get full support. You may not get the support the way you want. So this is the time for self-reliance, Atmanirbharta. This is the time when you focus on your own destiny, on your own efforts, on your own way of working. And the events that will happen with you for the next 40-45 days will also alter the way you believe in life, the way you believe in things, the way you see things practically. Mars in the third house will also aspect 6th house from the 4th aspect. This is the most important, aspect of Mars. This is the time when you will be more involved in fulfilling your duties, your prarabdha. So do what you have to do the way you have to do. Things may not go your way exactly, but if it is going 70-80% and you have to, fulfill someone else's wish, and you will have, if you have to fulfill your duty, do it. Because Saturn is in the 10th house, and Saturn is watching over you, and this can really be a very difficult war. It can be a war in the sense that you are asked to follow a certain type of pattern, task in career, in personal life, which you don't want to do, but eventually you will have to do. So this will make you very uncomfortable, irritated. Your mind will be very, on the edge, and you will feel that you're always on the, this can make you feel very emotionally vulnerable, and you would want to vent out. So a lot of venting will happen during this time. So find the right area to share your feelings. Don't share your emotions and your aggression and your irritation to someone who cannot take it. So you should find the right venue to vent out, and otherwise just sit in a temple every Tuesday for 1 hour, chant Hanuman Chalisa, and just surrender to Bhagwan Hanuman and say, you take care of it. We all are children of God. So just say, I cannot do it anymore. I need help. Seek for help if you are in that position. But if you have this overconfidence that you can do everything, and if you have this, or if you're saying yes because of some obligation, you are bound to face problems. It is better to be true to your own abilities this time. This is the good time to focus on your talent. Try a new source of income, maybe changing the domain entirely. This is a good time to focus on earning revenue through different sources. Think about it. It's all in the planning. Maybe something will work out for you according to your own chart. Because Mars affects 3 Upachaya houses, being in the 3rd aspects the 6th and aspects the 10th house. You will also have to be very responsible in your job if you are into service, and you will have to give your 200%. Don't be lazy there. Be more active, eat right, and don't take care of your hands. Don't see that you should not get hurt, and you should not hurt your hand so that it stops the career. But overall, this is the time. If you go relaxed, if you go with peace, if you go with the flow, things will be all right. Gemini Ascendant. Mars was on your first house. Mars is in Punarvasu Nakshatra in your first house, and on 10th of May, Mars will move in the 2nd house, the house of wealth, Dhanabhava. Now when Mars goes in your 2nd house, this is your 11th Lord going in the 2nd house. Usually 11th Lord going in the 2nd house is considered to be a very good yoga, because both are Lakshmi. Labhasthan, house of gains, Lord, goes into the house of profits, house of sustainability, which means resources will come to you. But the question is, in spite of you getting all the resources and in spite of you gaining a lot of things, you will be like, what should I do with this? The resources were not what you were asking for, what you expected. This is something else. It is like a painter who wanted an acrylic colors, has got a maybe coal, charcoal, graphite pencils, but no color. The question is, what are you going to do with this? So what will that creator do? Because he has no other option and he is true to his talent, he will make a painting out of that sketch. He will create a sketch, pencil sketch. Not colors, but still it's a very good thing. What happens here? It creates diversity. So this Mars in Cancer will create diversity for you, especially because it aspects the 8th house. And 8th house holds the sign of exaltation of Mars, which is Capricorn. This Mars is also going to aspect your 9th house with the 8th aspect where there is Saturn. So this is bound to, alter the destiny. The equations in the family will change. The way you spend money will change. The way you save will change. For people who want to study abroad, who wants to go for a professional education, who wants to apply for a visa, most of the wealth savings will go there. When you're traveling with friends, you will see you planned X amount of rupees or X amount of dollars, and suddenly the expense came to be 2x. So these kind of events will happen in your case, and this Mars can make you slightly uncomfortable with respect to finances. So be very careful from that part. Plus, this also can create tension in your own home. This can create dental issues, gum related issues. This can increase pitta in a lot of people. Uh, so eat right, take care of the, you know, take care of your teeth and gums. Uh, Speak wisely, speak positively during this time. There are couples who are trying for children. They will see some positive light here, some positive energies going on there. Uh, Try to use food as medicine during this time. Holistic eating, holistic healing will actually pacify the negativity of Mars, because Mars in Cancer is not that bad for you. But because sixth lord goes in the second house, this can create disease of mouth and disease through food. This can also create enemies because you emotionally, you came under emotion and you said something to someone. You can lose friends. You can make your friends your enemies, and you can make your enemies your strong enemies. So better not to speak much, be silent. Better to, give food to the poor, food to the hungry, work for, removing hunger from the world. Appreciate your resource. This is the time when you will also see, if you're buying something for yourself, there will be defects, there will be problems. You bought a phone, it might break. Better not to spend on things that are luxury, and whatever you have, try to make the best use of that, because you will be seeing that you will create a masterpiece with that. Sometimes what we ask is never given to us, but what we already have is already beautiful. So you will have to change your perspective from that angle. From the perspective of finance, this is a time where new job can happen. This is the time where you won't like it, but if you don't have an option, you will get a job, but not up to the mark. But in future, this is going to give you new opportunities. So what may seem bad now may be actually good later on. So think about that. Chanting Hanuman Chalisa, feeding the poor. All this are some of the ways by which you can manage this Martian energies and make it positive for you. From the perspective of business, this is not a time to invest heavy amount of money, especially if you are in speculative investments and speculative business. Be very careful. Good time to study, but ensure that if you are investing, it is worth it. So when you are spending a penny or a rupee, you have to ask yourself, is it needed? Is it worth it? If yes, go ahead. And by that, you will be able to manage not only your professional front, but also your personal front. Health of your spouse can give you more trouble. So take care of your spouse if you are married. Cancer Zodiac. For Cancer Ascendant and Moon sign, Mars will be on the first house. Now, because Mars is on your first house, it is going to affect your health. If you see, Mars rules your fifth house, Mars rules your 10th house. So it is a Yoga Karaka planet. And this Yoga Karaka planet goes in the first house. So definitely it is not that negative. But you will have to be very careful if you have any blood related issue, low blood pressure, iron deficiency, if you have any heart related issue, if you are into hypertension, if you're suffering anxiety, then you will have to be slightly careful, but it is not that negative. But this is definitely going to increase emotional vulnerability. You will become more vulnerable, and this is going to help your enemies take advantage of you, because you will be in a position where you can be easily triggered or gaslighted. So if you're in a toxic relation, if you're in a toxic environment, you will have to be very careful how you deal, because you will feel very frustrated, claustrophobic, and you will feel that you want to run away. But you have to also understand that Jupiter is in the 10th house. Give time some time. This Mars will aspect 4th, 7th and 8th house, and because it has an aspect on 8th house, you will have to be very careful about your health and how you are communicating with your life partner, how you are communicating with the family of your life partner, which is now your family. So the way you deal with circumstance will define this transit for you. If you are humble, if you are grounded, if you are bringing peace, if you are inclusive, if you are not, trying to forcefully make things go your way, this transit will be extremely beneficial and positive for you. But then, this is also the time when your mind can get irritated. You can just stand in front of mirror and you will feel that what have you done to yourself. A lot of people, not everybody, but some people. And you might feel that you need, if you're a man, you need to build muscle, and you will feel more feminine during this time. And for some it will be a factor of relief. For some it will be very disappointing. You will feel disappointed and you will feel very bad about yourself, that why are you unable to do a certain task, why are you not able to achieve what you are trying to achieve. This being too critical about yourself is not the right thing to do during this time. Rather, this is the time for recovery. You can recover from a financial crisis, you can recover from a health crisis, you can recover a broken relation. So that is why be like water, not fire. When you are like water, you will be able to manifest the reality by bypassing the obstacles. So this is not the time to take the obstacles head on, but this is the time to bypass them, dodge them. Now, facing the fear is one thing, but neglecting the fear because there are some more important tasks at your hand, God is right in front of you, there is divine energy helping you, then there is no need to fight that fear. Stop fighting yourself during this time. If you're suffering from anxiety, if your moon is weak, if your moon is afflicted, if your moon is in 6th, 8th, or 12th house in your birth chart, then this is going to affect you slightly more. So, this is the time for you to take counseling, talk to someone. This is also the time when, a crisis will will bring out the talent within you, and you will, tomorrow, when you will look back, you will see that you did good, you fare well. So, don't get disappointed, don't feel bad about your own abilities, don't put down yourself in front of anyone. Keep your head held high and focus on Bhagwan Hanuman, chanting Hanuman Chalisa, chanting Hanuman Vadvanala Stotra, chanting the mantra Om Shri Hanumate Namah will be extremely helpful during this time. Being humble is the key, being motivated is the key. So what you should do? Tell yourself your achievements, your good points. Appreciate others, get appreciated. Talk positively, and you will see that your motivation, your confidence will rise. Be very physically active. Eat light, eat sattvic. Avoid non-vegetarian food during this time unless it is prescribed for medical reasons. And don't take tension. Tension is not the key here. Being relaxed is actually the key. Career will trouble you. Changes in career, which are like, anticipation of a change, anticipation of a problem, will keep you on the edge, on the toes. But then you have to also have confidence on yourself. Sometimes it is said that hope for the best, but plan for the worst. That is what everyone should do. Think about it. Read good books. That will give you more insights and ideas into your life. And don't allow the problems of career to reflect in your marriage. Your spouse will support you during this time, but that doesn't mean that you are just redirecting the problems of career to marriage or problems of marriage to your career. Because if that happens, it will affect both the areas negatively. If you take care of your health, if you're confident, if you are just being humble, this is a very positive transit for you. Just you have to change the way you think about yourself and you think about the power, authority, and energy. Sometimes going with the flow is the best way. Leo. In case of Leo, Mars rules your 9th house, Mars rules your 4th house. It rules your happiness and destiny. That's important. That's how important a Mars is. Well, that's true. For a king, the soldier is the key of happiness. If the soldiers are strong, if the general is strong, the borders are protected, the king doesn't have to worry. Because the king will not go alone and fight thousands of soldiers. He needs thousands of soldiers. Similarly, Mars is a crucial and critical planet for your existence, and that, when goes in the 12th house, will hit you negatively, but then you can turn it out to be positive. Imagine a soldier going into an enemy territory, trying to understand what the enemy is up to. So you will have to have faith, you will have to have trust on your own abilities. Mars in the 12th house is going to favor export and import. People who want to study abroad, who want to buy a house outside their own native place, who wants to do something, not locally but maybe nationally or globally. All that Mars will favor. Mars will also give, this being on the edge, this feeling that if you don't act now, the opportunity will be missed. Now that is a good feeling. It will motivate you to do something, but then you will have to ensure that you're not falling into the trap of emotional energies and you're doing something that is actually stupid. You will have to have patience. You will have to, have a broader understanding of the subject before you take any action. This Mars being in the 12th house will also aspect 6th house. So definitely this is going to, bring out people who will seem to be very positive for you, but you will have to see behind the curtain, behind the veil, what is the true intention. So whenever somebody is too good to you or too bad to you, try to understand their true intention. It will be slightly confusing, but I think you will be able to. Your sun is exalt and the sun will be in the 10th and 11th house during this time. So at least your ascendant lord is very powerful to counter any energy. Just that you will feel that you lack energy. You might spend most of your time in enjoyment. You might spend most of your time in doing social service. Suddenly you might feel that donation, by donating the money or spending money, for some it will be donation and holistic, for some it will be going into the shopping mall and fulfilling your ego. So your ego will take a hit and you will try to boost your ego through these kind of measure, which is the worst idea to do. So if your ego gets hit, let it be hit. Know that the planets are in your favor, other planets are working for you. This Mars will also come on your ascendant and will suddenly make you powerful. So there is no point using this little phase of 40-45 days against you. Rather, go with the flow. Sleep properly. Food and sleep should be the most important thing during this time. You will have to maintain your time. And if there are court cases, if there are disputes in your life, that may be settled. Not the way you like, but there may be a settlement. So you should welcome those kind of outcomes of your life. Travel is possible. Religious travel, pilgrimage is possible during this time. Visit Hanuman temple, visit Shani temple during this time. And if you have any Mars temple, Mangal temple around you, you should visit that also. Chanting Navagraha Stotra is going to be an excellent remedy during this time. Now when Mars is in the 12th house, it will affect your intimacy. If you are married, you'll have to be very careful from that part, because this can actually create STDs, some problems. You might be more worried about that area of life. And Mars also aspects 7th house with 8th aspect in this case, and therefore it can affect relationship and marriage also. Also, your extravagant nature or your display of ego and your actions to do that can also enrage the business partners, the investors during this time. So you will have to check on your attitude. See, Leo energies are very strong and dominating, but Mars doesn't have any dominating power right now. So you will have to be humble, and you will see that there will be a higher power who will overpower or overtake your decision. So don't be worried about that. See if it is good for everyone in the long run. If you're doing that, if you're thinking in that manner, I think you are good to go. And walking a lot, chanting Hanuman Chalisa, feeding fishes in the pond are some of the remedies by which you will be able to harness the positive energies of Mars. Think positive. Uh, Listen to good music at night. Music will be extremely helpful. If you listen to good music, your mood will be uplifted and you will feel good. So do all sorts of positive things that can make you feel better, and you will feel better. And you have to just use this time for recovery and rejuvenation. Virgo. Now, for Virgo ascendant, you will have to be especially careful uh, in your career, in your investment, the way you take your decisions. You should. This is the time when you will feel that you need to prove someone in your circle. You have to give a befitting reply. Don't do that. Don't do it if you are not in the zone, if you're not in the capacity. Hope can also be your best friend and also your worst enemy during this time, because third lord and eighth lord is Mars, and that is in the 11th house. So definitely some of the wishes will be fulfilled, but then in order to fulfill some other wishes, you may have to trade in some important stuff of your life, maybe your time. You might you might give an attempt to earn income, to invest somewhere, to buy something that you think will be good in the long term, but the returns may be low. The people whom you trusted that they will support you, and on the faith and on the on their support, you were trying to do something, they may take away the support. So you will have to be very careful how you plan your life for the next 50 days. The way you should plan is very humble, down to earth, only focusing on the resource that you have, not doing anything extravagant, not taking risks at all. Instead, you have to do things that mitigate your risk and cut down your debts. Mars 8th aspect will fall on the 6th house. And because Mars 8th aspect will fall on the 6th house, you will see that your most of your wealth gains that you'll earn during this time will go in cutting down the debt, this way or that way. Now this can be financial, this can be karmic. You will also see that suddenly one of your friend, you may have a fight with a friend, you may lose a friend, the friend might go away to a different place or a country, and that may put you in a situation where you feel very lonely. But then this is temporary. This is just a Mars being in the 11th house, but eventually Mars in the 11th house can bring transformation in your career. So use your talent in a positive manner, not with hope, but with practical data and facts that you can do something about it. Let's take an example. Well, if someone wants to open a YouTube channel right now, and if he has this ambition that he will grow the channel to 1 million in 5 months, it might be impractical because that's totally on luck. What you should do is you should do the karma and let the karma take its natural course. Don't look at the result. Don't have any expectations attached to that. Because if you will have the expectations attached, you will be disappointed. It is the 8th house. You will also see that some of your investment are not giving you proper returns. But if you want to sell a property, buyers are there. But now you don't want to sell a property. So you see the confusion. Something that you wanted and now you don't want will now start happening. So the best way to handle this transit is being very practical about life, being very neutral about life, and being very productive. So you have to focus more on productivity than on luxury and than on appearance. Be more functional in life. Whatever you do has to be more functional in nature rather than aesthetic in nature. Aesthetic things will automatically come, but being functional will favor you a lot. People who are involved in marine, people who are involved in fisheries, people who are involved in manufacturing, people who are involved in chemical industry, petrochemical industry will see good growth during this time. Anything that has to do with energy and water, hydropower, will also see good boost. Alternative energy source, people involved in alternative, power, alternative energy business will see good growth during this time. You will have to protect yourself from glass and glass cuts, so remove any broken glass from your own home. Also, this can tarnish relation with your siblings, especially with your cousins. So party hard, enjoy life, but don't talk something that can hurt someone. Don't, your humor can convert into a satire, and that can convert into an insult very quickly. So just try not to be humorous where you think it can create problem. A bit of sincerity will actually make this transit a very positive transit, and ultimately you will end up gaining more than losing, because if you see, Jupiter is in 8th house, and this will create opportunities for you to invest. But big investment should be done with lot of caution and with proper analysis, and maybe you will have to recheck your decisions many times before you actually finalize it and make it convert into action. Think about that. Chanting Hanuman Chalisa, meditating, joining a meditation group are some of the ways by which you can easily manage this Martian energy. This will be ultimately a positive transit for you. Just be a bit relaxed and don't show ego. Libra. Now for Libra, Mars is 7th and 2nd lord. So it basically controls your business and personal life. And this is going to impact most of the businessmen and their career as businessmen and entrepreneurs who have startups, people who have invested in startups, or who are planning to, quit their job and start a business. See, Mars will be in the 10th house and it is debilitated. So it only means that you're uncomfortable with the environment of your career. Maybe things are not right in your office. You are not in the right environment. Maybe your friend has quit the job or is relocated, something or the other. It's just that you're not in the right frame of mind in your career where you are working. So what you will have to do is that you will have to be very sure of your actions, the way you think about your life, the way you plan your career move. And if you want to change your career, if you want to change your domain, you will have to be very sensible there. Better not to bring any change, especially if you are Libra. The health of your mother-in-law, the worry of your spouse can actually create a little bit of domestic tension, and you might be needed more in your home. So when you are going home, smile, carry a wonderful energy and aura in your home, and your house should not be the place where you're discussing about your career. Keep those two energies separate. This also means that you will see that you will become more conservative about your wealth, about the way you save, about the way you utilize your salary, about the way you approach towards your career. Maybe you are hoping for a promotion, maybe you are hoping for a pay rise. All that will run in your mind, and you will see that it won't end in any conclusion. It will be very, chaotic, and these energies will be such that it will cloud your mind with thoughts, but those thoughts will lead you nowhere. So what to do? The best thing is keep doing the karma, business as usual, and read Bhagavad Gita every day. See, you have Ketu on the 1st house. There is an eclipse on 5th of May. Then there are so many planets in the 7th house, and now a debilitated Mars in the 10th. The Kendra Bhavas are getting impacted heavily. So definitely the pillars of life, the Artha, Dharma, Kama, Moksha, the Purusharth, the Char Purusharth, they gets affected. So definitely the system of life will be that one area of life is affecting the other area, which in turn affects the third area, which in turn hits back on the first area. And therefore you can't fight war at multiple fronts. So it is better to just let it be and take one situation at a time, one event at a time, with happiness and with smile. Because if you create tension, this is going to only create further complication of the situation. You will have to be careful how you deal with your bosses, how you should not work late in the nights. There will be burnout that will affect your health. Your children needs you, your family needs you. So go for work-life balance. You have to be very strong in taking a stand about this work-life balance, so that your health, your family life, personal life, and the professional life are not thrown out of the balance. When Mars goes negative, the 7th house becomes negative. The 1st house has Ketu. So you can understand this definitely impacts the sanity of the mind. Especially people who have a strong moon will be easily able to go through these transits. But if you have an afflicted moon, if you are born with moon Ketu, moon Rahu, moon in 8th house, debilitated moon, you will have to be slightly more careful during this time, and chanting Hanuman Chalisa, serving poor people, making the best in your career, giving your 100%, being very true and honest. In spite of you want to leave your job, that's fine, but you have to be true and honest to your career. And if you're unhappy with your job, do your duty, fulfill your duty, keep looking outside. Everybody should look for growth, but then you have to be very honest towards the very role that is running your family. And by being present in the present, you will be able to handle the situation. If you live too much in the past or too much in the future, it will create more and more trouble. Scorpio. Now, in case of Scorpio ascendant, your ascendant lord and your 6th lord is Mars. And this Mars goes in the 9th house. When this Mars goes in the 9th house, you will have to be very careful about your own health as well as your father's health, your guru's health. There can be dispute with your guru, father, mentor, guide, healer, Jyotishi. And you will see that you will be more emotional. You won't have any real grudge, but there will be emotional challenges. So it is better that you are focusing more on the positive side of life, addressing your core duties as dharma. Because this Mars will put you in a situation which is called as dharma sankat. You will find yourself in a situation where you are unable to, react in the right manner. Your conversation is being misunderstood, and there are disputes, and you are unable to find the right way to handle that dispute. Which way should you go, left or right? That will become a confusion. So you will need somebody to guide you, somebody to handhold you. And so try to not engage into spoiling relationships everywhere, because you don't know whom you will need, who will be the one who will help you. So it is better to respect everyone and see everyone with the same eye, and try to be very polite and humble, and try to follow the path of dharma. Visit Hanuman temple every day, chant Hanuman Chalisa. In fact, chant Hanuman Chalisa 7 times every day in a Hanuman temple if possible for you. Light a diya in your home. Avoid red color. Donate red colored food items. And if there is a construction of a temple near you, if you can donate something, or if you are affluent and you can construct a temple, especially Hanuman temple. Also, this is the time when land related disputes might happen, visa related issues can happen, and issues related to education, foreign travel can cloud your thoughts and mind. There might be health challenges that come as an obstruction to these areas of life. Also, Mars will aspect your 4th house, Mars will aspect your 3rd house. So you cannot ignore the family's health. If there is any concern that you see, you will have to be involved there. It can be anyone. It can be grandmother, it can be mother, it can be father, it can be grandfather. Also try to have a harmonious relationship with your siblings. So the main problem here will be finding the right dharma. Your dharma. What is your duty? What is your role? You will be asked things to do that you never expected, and you never expected that you will be the one doing that, but maybe the destiny has its own say. So this is the time to just take one day, each day at a time. It's not negative. I'm just telling you a situation. Take each day at a time. Focus more on devotion and dedication. Focus more on learning from the circumstance. And because Mars has 4th aspect on the 12th house, there will be expenses. So you try to cut down your own luxury expense. Try to be very conservative while you're spending money. And then you will see that this Mars will have a potential to change your life, because next step is Mars in the 10th house, and therefore your Lagna becomes very, very strong, because it is the sign of Leo. So definitely whatever Mars is doing right now is detoxification, recovery and rejuvenation. Make the best use of it. Sagittarius. Now for Sagittarius, Mars rules one trine, which is 5th house, and then it also rules a 12th house. When Mars goes in Cancer zodiac sign on 10th of May, there is a Vipreet Rajyog for this Mangal, 12th Lord coming in the 8th house. Now, because 12th Lord comes in the 8th house, this also will mean that your losses will suddenly convert into gains, but those gains cannot be liquefied, but it will be more indirectly available to you. If there is any ancestral property, if there are disputes related to that, you might see that you are, you might be the winner and it might be given to you. You might be able to acquire that asset, but it will be in an indirect position. You might not be able to immediately access it, but it will act more like a future security. But even if that happens, you should be happy. If your 5th Lord is in 8th house, so you will have to take great care of your health. Because it is a Vipreet Rajyog, even if there is an adverse situation in your life, this is going to give you some positive returns. Because that's the nature of Vipreet Rajyog. It gives you benefit out of difficult situation. You are falling sick, you go to a doctor. Earlier you never went to a doctor, now you go to a doctor, you will be cured, and a problem that was you were suffering from a long time will be simply taken care of. Maybe you have financial issues. Your investments, your attempts to secure yourself will now be so fruitful that it will take care of most of the financial problems. So you have to deal it in that way. Think of long term when Mars is in the 8th house. Now when Mars is in the 8th house, you have to be very careful from small accidents, nicks and cuts. Drive carefully. While you are swimming, you will have to be ultra careful when you are near a water body. When it is raining, you will have to be extra careful, especially under the thunderstorms and during lightning. Also, from the electrical appliances, you have to be very, very cautious. Mars will aspect the 2nd house, which means this is the time when you will be so emotional that you might reveal the secrets. So find a right avenue or place to share your thoughts, because if they keep within yourself, it will convert into a volcano and that will outburst. You will start gaining weight. You will see that you are feeling more frustrated. People who have blood pressure issues, thyroid issues, blood hemoglobin issues should be careful during this time with their diet. Mars also aspects 11th house. This means that Mars will try to bring in a sudden shift in your career because of a negative situation. I will repeat, because of a negative or adverse situation. Either it will happen or you will force to change the gear in your career, which will ultimately lead you to a positive situation. That means if you're stuck in your career from a very long time, and if you're unable to move, this transit will be helpful, to make the things inevitable and pull you out from any stuck scenario. If you're extremely stuck and you don't know how to get out of situation, and the life problem is too much for you, chant Bajrang Baan, chant Hanuman Chalisa. You can also chant Gajendra Moksh. Chanting Mahamrityunjay mantra every day will be extremely positive during this time, and every Tuesday visit a Shiva temple. Mars in 8th house will also aspect your 3rd house. So your health is wealth. If your health goes down, your efforts will also go down. But also it means that if you burn yourself, if there is a burnout in your career, this will affect your health big time. You won't even know. So it is better to do yoga. Avoid stress at all. Take this entire time as a vacation time. Do things but in limit. Don't cross your physical limit. If you are doing the gym, you are prone to accidents and maybe some muscle tear. So be very careful from that part also. Eat light, eat vegetarian, eat sattvic food during this time. Sattvic food will also give you sattvic thoughts. Some sadhana can be done during this time that will also trigger the occult energies of the 8th house. Praying to Ma Mahakali will be an extremely positive remedy during this time, considering that your Lagna Lord is with Rahu in the 5th house. This is the time which can convert even the most negative into most positive, but your own karma can convert the most positive to negative. Speculative gains and investments should be avoided during this time. Focus on your income, focus on your source of income, and be honest to your career, and give 100% but not 200%, because then it will start affecting health. Don't overdo anything. Excess of anything will be bad during this time. Capricorn Ascendant. Now, if you see for Capricorn, Mars is very important planet. Mars rules 4th house and Mars rules 11th house. Now, being the 4th lord and the 11th lord, Mars has this great potential to control your finances, your assets, your gains, your income, your happiness, the place where you live. So you will see that when this Mars goes in 7th house, there will be movement in all these areas of life. Because 7th house is the house of marriage, 7th house is the house of business partnerships. This might bring in expectations mismatch, and you might feel unhappy in marriage, or you might feel unhappy because your partner is unhappy because of any reason. So there can be reasons where there will be difficult situation or difficult time in marital relationships, in business relationships. This is the time when all of you have to cooperate and focus on coexistence rather than blaming each other, rather than being emotionally vulnerable towards each other, rather than nitpicking, rather than pinpointing mistakes and trying to dominate. But this is the time where you will have to cooperate, coexist, and not try to demean each other. Otherwise, this can take a very ugly shape. Words or career of your spouse, health of your spouse can trouble you a lot. You can also feel heat of the moment because of the health issues related to children. But if you see, because your Saturn is in the second house, this Mars also aspect that Saturn. That means there will be matters related to in-laws which can also little bit trouble you. But because your second house Saturn is very strong and Sun is exalt, Jupiter is in Aries zodiac sign, you will see that you will be able to easily pass this time through sheer courage, willpower, but you will have to be very humble, cooperative. You will have to understand the other person's perspective, and you will have to respect the other point of view. Definitely not a time to go for a debate, because the more you will try to speak and prove, the more things will go against you. So it is like trying to squeeze your hand when you have sand, and the more you try to squeeze, the more sand will ooze out from the hand. So it is just best to hold the position rather than do some action on that. Also, this is not a good time to start a new business. You will have to first have a cordial relation with your business partner if you are in partnership, or with the people who work for you, who are your staff, who are your employees, because this can create restlessness among them, insecurity. They might feel insecure because of maybe your behavior, or maybe you are being too angry, you are being too arrogant, possibly. You will also see that the resources will be enough, but the circumstance will be such that you won't understand where to fit the resource, how to fit the resource. This may in turn take a hit on your health. It can create anxiety. It can create a kind of a situation where you are more mentally disturbed, and the decisions that you're taking in a hurry can create further complication. That is why you have to go slow. And in fact, if you don't understand, if you feel that you need help, then seek help and bring experience on the board if you are in a big business, if you have that hierarchy. For students, you will have to fight back the lethargy, the laziness, the distractions. You will get a lot of distractions during this time. Movies, games. You have to refrain your and put your energy in the right place, because see, if you put your energy in the right place, Mars, which is a Yoga Karaka planet, will give you tremendous growth. If you cooperate with your spouse, today there will be a problem. After 15 days, it will build a bigger bond. It will be a proof that you are for each other. If you try to understand your business partner's perspective, maybe there a better idea will come from your partner. So this is going to completely transform the scenario here, and sometimes you have to coexist with difficult situation and adverse situation. You might also feel that you are rendered useless, you are sidelined, you are cornered during this time. Whatever happens, don't feel threatened, don't feel low. This is just a momentary time frame. Again, I will repeat, Jupiter is there, powerful. You have Saturn in a very positive position. You can make the best, but yes, it will be a bit restrictive transit. So that restriction will prove to be good for you. Health wise also, you will have to take care, especially of the lower body, and try to do yoga, a little bit of gym, trying to focus on your health, because from the physical health, your mental health will also become stable. Visit Hanuman temple every day if possible. Chant Hanuman Chalisa, do Hanuman Aarti in your home. Also, you can chant Angarak Stotra every day for positive results and peaceful mind, and maintain silence as much as possible. Speak less but speak effective. Aquarius Ascendant. For Aquarius Ascendant, Mars is basically your entire karma. It is your third lord, it is your 10th lord. And when these two potential planet lord, these potential house lords, Mars goes in the 6th house, you will have this, this power to win over your enemies. But the question is not whether you are winning or not. Question is whom you are thinking is your enemy. Because sometimes you might mistake, there may be a mistake, and you can think your friend as your enemy. Somebody who is talking things in your favor, because it is just going against what you think, he or she might become your enemy. This can ruin relations, friendships. This can create diseases. Somebody is trying to protect you from negative energy, but you are forcibly trying to go there. So be very careful, be mindful of what you are trying to fight, what you are trying to win over. Definitely from the perspective of competition, you will see there is no competition at all. The competition is more on the internal side. You are going to fight within yourself. So this is a good time to quit a bad habit, focus on transformation, finding a new job, giving interviews and then securing a good job, solving the issues of your employees and the staff if you're into business and if you have a company, being there as a team leader, being compassionate towards small animals, serving the society, because 6th house Mars is a soldier on the border serving the nation but has no expectations. It's just sheer love for the country. So this selfless sacrifice is what is being asked by the Aquarius Ascendant natives. 10th Lord being in the 6th house also mean that there will be change in your role. There will be some alteration in the way you work. Even in your office, there will be assumptions that he is plotting against you. There is politics going on against you, and you might complain, and later on you might regret. So there will be a lot of regret and guilt during this time. Even the transit is positive, because Mars is debilitated. Your own actions might put you under an emotional ride, for an emotional toss. You will also see that you will have to battle health, not big ones. It totally depends on your chart, but you will have to be very careful about your health, especially about the health of your hands and knees. You will have to eat right, you will have to sleep right, and you will have to donate. See, serving anyone, any God's creation is going to be the best remedy during this time. Bowing down in front of Bhagwan Hanuman, showing the power of compassion and surrender and gratitude, thanking everything that you have and you will have in your life, are some of the ways by which you can prove that you are humble. Saturn is on your ascendant, the weight is already on your head. So you have to show that you are worthy. And then this debilitated Mars in 6th house will make your enemies your friends, will create reputation where you were always hated. It can convert hate into love. So this can be a wonderful transit. This transit can transmute negative to positive, but then your awareness is needed during this time. If you're not aware of your own actions, of your own karma, this can create a lot of trouble. This is like self demolition, self annihilation in a way. So don't destroy yourself by being negative. So being positive, having that positive mindset is extremely crucial for Aquarius ascendant. So chanting Hanuman Chalisa, which is common, feeding the poor, very important, serving animals and birds, however the way, whatever way you can, feeding the cows because Mars will be in Pushya Nakshatra, will be powerful way to handle this Martian energy. And remember, this is the time to transform your own karma, cut down your debts. You will also see that there will be prarabdha, some duty, some responsibility. Eventually, you will have to fulfill that. But because you are putting your mind and heart there, that role will be, that energy will be dissipated very quickly. And it means that although you will be tired doing it, but a portion of the prarabdha is gone. It's like a bulk repayment of karmic loan. It's a good time. You will have to wait for Mars to enter Leo to experience the positive energies of Mars in Cancer. Trust the process, trust the divine. Pisces. Now for Pisces, Mars rules, if you observe, the 9th house and the 2nd house, the Bhagya and the Dhana. So imagine Mars is like the destiny maker, the king maker in your chart. This Mars goes in the 5th house. This Mars goes debilitated in the 5th house. So definitely it will hamper two areas of your life. One, how you relate with your children. Are you worried about your children? Are you pregnant? Are you trying to pursue? Are you trying to go for a childbirth? That area will be affected. So you will have to be very careful. Physically, you will have to take great care of yourself, as well as you have to take care of your children, especially if they are young. But the other area where Mars will have a major impact will be in speculative business. See, your Lagna Lord is in the 2nd house with Rahu. So it has the tendency to give you ideas, financial ideas, where there will be shortcut growth. But there is no shortcut to success. And this Mars, which also aspects your 8th house, will try to, which also has 8th house has Ketu, will try to, push you into investing money or diluting your money and investing in somewhere else, assuming profits. Any luck-based investment should not be done during this time. It will backfire big time. Share trading, share market, if you are involved there, if you are a daily trader, you will have to be ultra careful during this time. Assumption of profit doesn't mean real profit. This can be a gameplay of Rahu. This can be a Maya, illusion. Also, 5th house represents expression. Actors, dubbing artists, anyone who uses their expression as their mode of communication, who are more expressive, the people who are extroverts, they might fall into a controversy because of a statement they have said, or because of the way they express, because the things they think right. Sometimes, we may assume something is right, but it is never not well received by the audience. So you'll have to be very careful how you are selecting those things in your life at this point of time. Also, it is going to affect romance. You will have to be very careful if you have a toxic relation, if you have a strained relation. This can literally blow things out of proportion. A negative Mars in the fifth house can destroy even longest of the relations. So you will have to be very, very careful. Especially this can, because the Mars has an aspect on the 12th house, which is basically 6th from 7th, it might create unnecessary dispute and war in marriage. And also the problems in your spouse's or your partner's chart can affect you badly and negatively and can reduce your productivity because you are more involved there. So this is the time to stand up for your partner. This is the time to be there for your partner and sometimes go for selfless sacrifice. That is why you have to slow down during this time. That is why you will have to have this holistic approach. Your health should be taken care. When you want to express something, but maybe you will have to hold back and express it in a different way that is not hurting and that is not demeaning. Otherwise, this can simply blow the relationship into pieces. Speculative income, speculative business should be done carefully. Stock trading, as I said, should be done carefully. Business growth and investments, or onboarding a new investor or a partner during this time, should also be done with a lot of caution and with proper analysis. No assumption, no faith. Be very practical and grounded and rely on facts and data. So if you are relying on the facts and data, you will see that you will be able to fare well during the Mars transit in the 5th house. Ultimately, Mars aspects 11th house, which is the exalted zodiac sign of Mars. So income is bound to grow, but it should not be that you're too focused on the income and work and you're forgetting the family, you're forgetting the children. The children are missing you, and these small transits can create small dents in children's mind. This transit where you are too ignorant about your career or you're too focused on one side and you're missing the opportunity can make you feel regret later on. So when you are over involved in one area of life, try to also look back and see what you're missing. Are you missing something important, personal or professional? Also, because your 12th house gets impacted, stomach related problem can affect you a lot. So be very careful. Eat light, no non-vegetarian food, and if possible, don't even eat garlic and onion during this time. And if you are following the path of yoga, pranayam, healthy practices, I think you will be easily able to manage this Mars transit in the 5th house.